know. And apologies if I have to stop just to let Vanessa in for a sec. Right. I was going to do some arm movement and arm work today as well. Okay. Right. So first of all, let's take a seat on the floor. If you've got bands and business with you, just have them relatively handy. So hopefully you can see me okay. Right. Let's just start with a little bit of postural work. Now, as you said, you've probably been sat down for a whole chunk of the day. Everything's all a bit stiff, but actually your posture's probably gone a bit out of kilter as well. So let's see if we can just sort of try and maneuver that around a little bit. I'm going to turn to the side on occasion so you can see what my back's doing. But first of all, I just want you to try and relax your legs down. So the best thing to do on that is actually if you put one foot in and then one foot up after it, and there should be one side where that feels a bit more comfortable. If I do that way, it's not that it doesn't work, it's just that this doesn't feel quite so comfortable. So do it the way that's a tad more natural. And then I want you to physically move your bum cheeks out of the way. And so your sit bones are right on the floor and they should feel like two bumps on the floor. I want you to think in your mind, and you can even close your eyes if you want to, that I've put a rod, a steel rod, down your back, and it's not possible for you to start slumping because I've attached it. So if you think about that, it often helps sort of prop yourself up a little bit. Now, whether you're lordotic or not, that's regardless. Think about whether you are feeling upright. Then we're going to roll your shoulders. Really try and don't just sort of go, oh, she's asking me to roll her shoulders. Think, okay, up and back and down. Just slow it down very slightly. Again, close your eyes if you want to. Up, back and down, because you can even give yourself a mini sort of self-massage with this if you get it right. Let's go the other way. So up and forwards, a little bit harder. Up and forwards. And one more. Up and forwards. Good. So sit your shoulders down and make your arms sort of nice and loose. They should feel heavy next to your sides. This time, definitely visualize that I'm stood behind you and I'm just very, very mildly putting some pressure on your shoulders. So not that I'm going, oh, I'm putting all my 65 kilos on you. It's just, I've just put a light bit of pressure and just relax your shoulders. Then with your head, so your posture is still upright, with your head, you're just going to tip that forward and look into your lap. Now what this does, it shouldn't actually be that comfortable. It should be a little bit of a strain. You should think, oh God, that's tight. What we're doing is just stretching the tendons that have just been all crunched up all day. So it shouldn't be that comfortable. It's not even that comfortable for me, and I've been on, running around all day. Hold it here. Get your back muscles very, very slightly to do some work. And how you do that is just squeeze your shoulder blades very slightly together, just a tiny, tiny squeeze. Bring your head up and then just relax. So that pole has gone, the steel rod's gone. Right, okay, so let's redo that. So steel rod is back, rolling your shoulders back and down. I'm behind you, tiny bit of pressure, and then drop that head. And just tiny engagement of your back just by squeezing your shoulder blades. That should be felt rather than hurt. Just relieve that stress. Take a deep breath in. Bring your head back up. And then the rod goes. That's it. Okay. So what you should feel is that your shoulders have suddenly gone, oh, that's better. And just sort of relaxed a little bit as opposed to being up by your ears where they've probably been for a whole chunk of this afternoon. Okay, to assist that further, I just want you to put your hands behind your back. And again, I'm going to come completely to the side here. And then try and get them fairly close together. They don't have to be touching, but fairly close together. and then you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now, we're not necessarily doing a full pectoral muscle stretch here. I just want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together at first. Now, what's your tummy doing? Is it gone? So just pull it in and squeeze those shoulder blades. Bring yourself nice and slowly out of that, and then gather forwards. Feel as if you've got a ball that you're holding, a big Swiss ball that you're holding on to. Drop your head and pull your tummy in. Now, what this does is spaces your shoulder blades slightly, and I want you to take a deep breath, and it should feel a breath in your back, basically. And release. And again, breathe in, space those shoulders apart, and release. Good. Quite strong, that one. Should be feeling quite nice. Okay, we're going to do the same thing again. So bring your hands back and keep them fairly close. Now we're going to extend this slightly. So squeeze your shoulder blades first. And if you're like, yeah, that's enough, thank you very much, then that's absolutely fine. If you want to, you're going to arch your back very slightly and just lift your chest. Try not to fling your head back though, so keep your chin fairly close to your chest. Now, if you've got that correct, that is quite strong. To loosen that slightly, if you're like, oh my God, just bring your hands out much further and don't bring your chest up so high. So the extended version is quite far in and up. Okay, release yourself out of that. And then scoop forwards, lattice your hands together, drop your head, tummy in, deep breath. And release. Sorry, apologies, dog going mad. Okay. Right, so back, shoulders, chest should be feeling a little bit looser now, so you should be thinking, okay, that's better. Right, so let's have a little look at right here, those tendons, if you can feel them. There's a lot of very big tendons going on around here, and they are very, very protruding. They're very obvious, and you've got some big ones going on back here as well. Now, thankfully, obviously this keeps your head on, but they can get super, super tight, this set here and this set here in particular. So let's have a little stretch out of those in particular. So one hand over, and then one hand on your shoulder, and then you're just going to very mildly prise them apart. And just a little bit of pressure. Don't ever yank these tendons because they will hurt. Okay, release your hands and your head pops up. Woo. Okay, other side. So one on your shoulder, one on your other side of your head. Just pull gently apart. At this moment, don't move your head any further than just to one side. Keep your back up nice and straight. And just prise that apart a bit. And release. You may feel a little tiny clicking in your ear. It's because the muscles here are just expanding slightly. As long as that doesn't hurt, then that's absolutely fine. Right, so let's get a little bit further round now. So head, shoulder, pull. Now what I want you to do is twist your head and look down. And I'd say look towards your knee, but it's past. It's on the floor just past your knee. Nearer towards your hip. My ears are clicking. And again, just release the whole thing and it will pop back to center. And then the same again. So to the side first, then look round. And again, just remember what I said, it can be a bit clicky in your ears. Good. Did you feel that all the way around there? I should have released that a little bit. Okay. We'll do a little bit more in a bit on that. So whilst we're in this position, let's just relax the hips out. Again, there's a lot of tension that can be held in hips. So if you just bring your elbows, if we're not down here yet, and if you're still up here, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to release it down, drop your head. Relax your shoulders. You don't need to drop all the way to the floor. I just want some pressure on your knees. And that's it. Okay, just nice and gently roll it up. Oh, hang on a minute. Just Vanessa. Sorry, guys. Okay. Vanessa and Fiona, if you can hear me, darling, we've obviously started. So if you just want to get yourself into a cross-leg position, we're just stretching hips out. Okay, so when you're ready, if you want to just stretch your hips down a little bit, we'll go into the second movement. So if you put one hand behind and then one hand on your knee, then you're going to push that away. So you're slightly leaning back, and I want you to push that knee away from you. What you'll find is, yes, there's a stretch, but it's also slightly here, slightly a stretch around the top of your hips and your obliques. That's it. Okay, come back to center on the other side. So hand on your knee, hand behind, push it away. Now, you might find that a little bit tougher on one side. This is a lot tougher on this side for me. It may feel equal, which is good. That's it. Okay, and bring yourself back to center. Lovely. Okay, so now we're going to fold all the way forward. So it's a little bit more of a hinge. I'm going to come to the slide slightly so you can see. Hands in front of you, and I want you to hinge and walk yourself forwards all the way. Make sure your feet are out of the way of your knees, and then you're going to try and reach as far forward as you can, and then drop your head. Good. Very, very, very slowly get yourself out. That's quite strong, that one. So if you're nowhere near the floor, don't worry at all. Don't worry at all. That is really, really strong. Okay. Bringing yourself out of that, and then straighten your legs. Just put your hands behind just as a balance, and just give your legs a little jiggle, because we have been down in that position for a few minutes now. Right. Feet a wriggle, if you can see. And then ankles a wriggle. Might be a bit clicky, tiny bit cramped maybe. Just make sure that they don't actually fully cramp. Okay, let's spin ourselves around. I'm actually going to spin around this way so you can see me a little bit easier. Okay, so I wanted to do a good amount of shoulder work today, because again, if it's all really, really tense here, unfortunately, Vanessa and Fiona, you've missed the untense bit, but to stretch it all out, but then to strengthen it, because every single time that you strengthen it, it should be able to cope a little bit more with the stresses. So I want to work a little bit on shoulders today. It's not going to be that easy. So if at any point you're like, oh my God, please stop and just roll out. Okay, I will ask us to do that anyway. But if you're like, oh God, this is too much, then please just come down and roll your shoulders out, okay? Especially if they are a little bit tense today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build up to this. So we're on all fours, and the most simple of press ups is a box press up. Now, again, you guys are all really fit, but you probably haven't done a box press up for a while, actually, because you'd be like, well, I'm bypassing that. So if we can start there, and apologies, my leggings, by the way, because they are a little bit lower. That is not great. Sorry. We're going to put our hands just past your own shoulder width. Okay, so your shoulders here, your hand should be just past. And then we're going to come down, touch your nose, and come back up. So that's a box press up. what you're trying to avoid is your back going into a cow position. So you're coming up, you're in the normal neutral, and your arms are doing the work. Touch with your nose and then back up. So let's get a little bit of consistency going out. So arms are coming out, elbows out and back up. Now the elbows will have to come out fairly far for this, especially to touch your nose. If you can't quite get to the floor with your nose, obviously absolutely fine. Nice and slowly, okay? No rush, absolutely no rush. And back up. Let's go for 2 more. Just remember to finish each one. And up, down, touch your nose and back up. Lovely. Okay, just bring yourself back, put your wrists together and just give them a little dig, because again, if you have been typing a lot today, they may be a tad sore. Okay, good. Give them a little stretch out. Right, so let's advance that a little bit now. If you're like, no, we're not going to advance that, then stay where you are. Box press up, absolutely fine. So when you're doing a knees press up, we're going to bring those hips. I would just not quite put your knees fully together, but just bring your hips forwards. Okay, so that's the position that we're in. I want you to really, really tuck your pelvis under, squeeze your glutes, and active this. Okay, so your core should be mildly active. And again, you don't need to touch the floor, but your elbows are coming out. Okay, so I don't want that one yet. We're not going to go into that one yet. But if you can sort of think, right, okay, slightly wider than my own shoulders, tuck my pelvis under, squeeze my glutes, core just activates, and then you're coming down. Okay, it does not have to be to the floor. If you want to go to the floor, of course, but it's quite a lot tougher coming up. So we're coming down and back up. Down. Remember, you've always got the box press up to refer to. Down and up. Let's go one more. And up. Good. Sit yourself back. Just give your wrists a little wiggle. Just roll your shoulders a little bit. That's it. Excellent. Okay. Right. I'd say advancement on that, but that's just a normal press up. That's not that interesting, you know, just sitting there doing press ups isn't that thrilling. So we're going to revise that slightly. So what I want you to do is, instead of putting your hands sort of slightly wider than your own shoulders, we're going to come in. Now, in enough that you can actually get your chest through. So for me, that's about there. We do have to come through to knees on this one. It's not that easy to do this as box press up. Now your feet can come up or they can stay down. Personally, mine tend to start coming up, but don't worry too much about what your feet are doing as long as your knees are on the floor. So with this press up, we're going to come backwards, okay? So your elbows are kind of come behind you. Super important that doesn't start happening. So really pull your tummy in. Tiny little move. Tiny little move. There. Okay? Little move. Let's go 3 more. Triceps having to do a lot of work here. 2 and 3. Lovely. Okay, bring it back. Just give them a shake. Oh, triceps kicking in now. Right, if you are feeling that that's quite enough for you, you're like, yeah, okay, I think I might need to practice that. That's absolutely fine. That's where you stay. If you want to go a tiny bit more, we're going to come lower. Now, it's not low and then up. It is low to the floor. Stop, breathe, and back up. We have done this before, but we're going to be a little bit more intense with it. So if we bring your hands again, just so you can get your chest through. Bring your hips forward, feet will do what they want to do. And remember, we're coming that way, not that way, so not elbows out. And what I'd like you to do is squeeze everything, and then you're going to come all the way down. And what we're trying to do is hit the floor at the same time, okay? So ideally, not so easy for the girls, of course, but ideally everything should roughly hit at the same time, rather than your belly hitting first, because that means you're arching. So once we're down here, if you just note your hands should be right next to your side, or well, on your chest. And then we're going to take a deep breath in, and then on the out breath, squeeze your core, and then we're going to lift up. Now again, the pivot point is your knees, so try to lift up at the same time. So breathe in, lift, and come back. Good. Hopefully everyone's done that. Right, let's give that another go. So this is a part chaturanga in yoga. So we're going to bring this forwards. Bring your arms down. Think, all right, I'm going to hit at the same time. Try to hit at the same time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Activate your core and lift. Good. Just sit back. Wonderful. Okay, right, let's try that one more time. Arms should be thinking, oh my God, by now. Forward. So breathe in. Coming down. Try to hit the floor at the same time. Control, control, control. Breathe in. Lift. Good. Okay, if you've managed that, okay, well done. We're just going to sit back, so you can bring your knees out to the side if you want to, and just sit back into a child's pose. Just relax your shoulders out. Deep breath. Good. Okay, very slightly when you're ready, just roll your way out of that. Okay, right. So that should be quite warm by now, this whole sort of deltoid arms area. Core should be feeling like it's done something, but not fatigued yet. We're going to do a little bit more shoulder work, very specific shoulder work. And again, there's a few varying ways of doing this. So again, we'll start with the easier version and then progress it if you'd like to. It's all optional, okay? You don't have to advance it. So again, we're going to start in our box position. So think, right, okay, yeah, hands fairly equal to knees. And what I'd like you to do is keep one hand there, and you're going to lift the other one to your side. Now, what you should find is your shoulder and your wrist and your hand and your core has to stay stable to keep you there. Now, this in itself isn't that difficult, but it adds up. Bring your hand back. Swap sides. Hold it up. Hold it there. Hopefully, you'll feel everything kicking in, particularly your core. So, oh God, bring it down. Okay, let's try that again. So you're on all fours. Should feel nice and stable. I'm going to destabilize you. Just make that arm active. Use your shoulder, use your core. Keep yourself stable. Looking down so your neck's not going to get wrenched. And hand down. You may find, and we're going to swap sides, you may find that one side's the downside easier than the other one. It's invariably the weaker arm where this is much more difficult. Hold it still and bring it down. Lovely, just sit back. Wonderful. Okay, so it shouldn't have been too horrific. You know, everything's starting to activate. Now let's make that a tiny bit more difficult by bring your hips forward. So that's in box position. We're going to come into knee position now. So bringing it forward. So you're in a sort of knee-based plank. Now sort of think in your head, right, okay, I've got to lift one hand. This is going to feel harder, just to pre-warn you. Lift it up. Now your weight distribution goes very slightly over to one side. That's so you don't fall over. Try and keep your shoulders square. Bring your hand down. Deep breath in. And on the out breath, lift. Try super hard to keep your shoulders, so we're not doing that. Keep them equal, as if you've literally just picked your hand up. Now, if you've got that correct, sit back, bring your hand down. Got that correct, you might start shaking. Okay, that's your muscles going, oh my God, I'm having to do something. So roll your shoulders, absolutely excellent if you manage that. Good stuff. Okay, let's try that again. So hands stable. Bring yourself forward, squeeze those glutes slightly, activate your core. and then we are lifting one side. Hold it there, hold it still. Don't move your shoulders. 3, 2, 1. And swapping sides, so swap your weight. Keep everything still, keep everything still. We're all starting to shake, and 3, 2, 1, hand down. Excellent, right, if you manage that, good stuff. That's quite a lot harder. If your knees are starting to get this now, because we are going to be doing this a little bit longer, if you can get a towel or double your mat over or something like that, because your knees are going to start taking this a little bit if you're not careful. Right, if you were like, it's all right, then we'll try the most advanced one. If you're like, no, that was difficult enough, thank you very much, then we're going to repeat that. We'll only do the more advanced one once. It is quite a lot harder. So as you can imagine, if you do this on your toes, it is quite a lot harder. So we're in a plank position. The idea is that you try very, very hard to keep still. So if I demonstrate, so we're up, you're in a plank position, and then you're going to lift that arm. Okay, hold it there. Right, so if you want to set yourself, come into a plank. So if you're not into a plank, your knees are down, hips are forwards. Just get your plank together first, slightly shift your weight, and then we're lifting. And 3, 2, 1, and down. And then we're swapping sides, up. And 3, 2, 1, and down. Well done. If you manage that, very, very good stuff. Absolutely excellent. Right, give your arms a very good shake out and give them a little roll. Whoa, shoulders. That's it. Okay. Let's come down and actually work our way down the back now. So if you want to come, hopefully you can see me okay. If you want to come down, hopefully you can see me because I can't see that you can see me. And we're going to put our hands in front of us and just rest your chin. So just really try and relax and just give yourself a little wriggle. And just relax your back. Relax your hips. This little movement should feel very, very relaxing. Okay, come back to center and just relax your body down. Sink it into the mat. Okay, right. So first things first, I just want your back to go, oh, okay, it's my turn. So keep your hands where they are, and we're going to lift your head so that you're just looking forward. So you're not wrenching your neck up, you're just looking forwards. And then you're going to just push your shoulder blades back very slightly. So this very slightly lifts your chest and mildly activates muscles at the back, very, very mildly. So you shouldn't feel a particular strain. It should just be, yeah, okay, my back's having to do something. And what you'll feel around the front is that there should be some pressure on your ribs slightly. It's sort of slightly propping you up. Take a deep breath and sink back down. Right. If that was like, no, that didn't really do anything, absolutely fine. We're just going to come up a little bit more. So it's a little half cobra, but I want your arms to be quite far away from you, okay? Now what this may do is there's a little bend in your back. So if that's starting to pinch, please come down to about where we were. If it's not pinching, then we're going to put our shoulders back and lift your head straight. So you're looking straight ahead. And then what you should feel is your back muscles just start to go, oh God, all right, I've got to do something, but you should get a really nice stretch around the front. So your abs, if you've done anything to do with your abs at all today, you'll feel that really nice stretch. Just sit those shoulders back, try and relax them, not around your ears. Relax the bottom half, it's not doing anything. Good, take a deep breath in and bring yourself all the way down. Lovely. Once you come down, you may realize that your back muscles actually did something because you can feel them going, oh, okay, relax. Bring your hands round to your side and I want your palms facing up. Just relax down. And then we're going to lift one arm up. So try and lift it it will be a few inches, but just lift it behind you. If you can see that. Good, and bring it back down. And then we're going to do the other side. So palms facing up to the ceiling, and just move that away from the floor. Everything else is down. It's quite a strong stretch in your shoulder, this one. Good. Bring it down. Deep breath in, out breath, lift both of them. Try and keep them relatively straight. Maybe little slight wobbles because this is not easy. Just squeeze your muscles at the back slightly and bring it down. Lovely. Okay, just relax. Right, now we're going to go back to one of them, and then I want you to bend your arm. If your shoulder is too tight, this might be very, very difficult. So let's see how you go. So lift one up. I'm just going to pop myself, sorry. Lift one up, and then you're going to bend it behind your back. So the one staying exactly where it is, just squeeze that shoulder blade slightly. If that's too difficult, don't do the bend. Some people's shoulders aren't going to be flexible that way. Keep it there, keep it there. Feel your arm having to do something. Take it away and bring it down. Right, let's try the other side. So up, bend it. So you're bringing it round to the small of your back. That's it. Just squeeze your elbow up slightly, which should squeeze your shoulder and around your shoulder blade. You'll get quite a stretch from this as well. It's quite nice. Bring it back and down. Just relax for a sec. Right, we're going to try both. Obviously, just make sure they don't crash into each other and get in the way. So lift both up, then you're going to bend both. Okay, it slides behind each other. Now just squeeze your shoulder blades slightly. Feel like your back's doing some work now. Squeeze, hold it there. You should be able to breathe. Don't hold your breath. And come back down and release. Oh. Once you release, you realize that your back's done some work. So just give your back a little rest out, a little jig. Right, okay. So now I want you to fork your hands together. So if you're in a little fork position, we're going to lift up and then lift your arms. Now this, because of what we've done, your back should automatically go, oh God, I'm doing something now. If it's going, oh, that's hurting, please put your hands down. If it's like, no, that's doing something, that's absolutely fine. And bring it down. Deep breath in. Out breath, lift your shoulders first, then lift your hands off the floor. Hold it, feel those back muscles doing something to squeeze your shoulder blades. A little sea turtle. Sounds innocent. And bring the whole lot down. Good. Okay, let's go one more. Come on, back muscles. Breathe. Lift up, hands off the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Hold it here. Now your glutes very slightly get involved here. They kind of want to. That's okay. And bring it down. Lovely. Hands in front. Just create a little pillow for your chin and then just do some little rocks. Very, very good. If you manage to do that whole sequence, that's really good because your back muscles are taking some strain there. Okay. Right. Let's flip over as elegantly, which is not elegant. Oh, there's no way of flipping over elegantly on this. And then we're going to lie onto your back, but your knees up. So once we've done that kind of move, it's really important that you counterbalance it. So if you just bring your knees in, we're just going to do little tiny rocks. That's it. Just rock from one side to the other with your head on the floor currently. Okay, come back to center and you're going to hold on to those knees and then we're going to lift and then we're going to rock again. Now what you'll find is that is quite strong in your mid-back. Don't let your neck strain too much. yourself to center and down. Lovely. Right, whilst we're here, let's just take hold of one knee, and I want you to pull that nice and tightly towards you and just relax your shoulder blades flat on the floor. Now with the leg that's spare, I just want you to keep that bent and point your toe, and then the tip of your toe is going to reach the floor. Relax. You just really pull that knee in nice and close. Hip flexor should be getting good stretch. Pick your toe up just slightly and feel like you're pushing a ball along the floor. So straightening that leg out, pushing a little tiny ball along the floor. Keep your foot and your leg elevated just off the floor. Hold it there. That knee should be really super tight next to you. Take a deep breath in and then relax your leg down onto the floor. Good. Okay, bringing that knee in. And then we're swapping hands. So keep that knee really nice and close. And then you're going to point your toe and bring that toe down to the floor, keeping your leg bent. Keep that in nice and tight. Pick your toe up and then scoot that ball, little tiny ball, all the way along the floor. Keep hold of that knee, that's the thing that's stretching your hip. Point your toe, keep that just off the floor. Deep breath in and sink the leg down. Excellent. Very good. Okay, just bring your knee back in. Okay, let go and just do some little tiny circles to your lower back. And the other way. Good. Right, before we just start going on to some hip stuff, I want to just do one. I did mention at the beginning that we were going to do one final one down here for your neck, just particularly as everyone has got neck concerns at the moment. So just put your hands behind your head, and then we're going to very, very gently lift just your head. And you should feel the weight of your head. Just feel that in your shoulders, and then I want you to pull that forward. Relax your head into your hands, and you're pulling, basically trying to, best way of describing it is what they do in like massage therapy things. They'll just sort of lift your head and pull it away. It's just to elongate your spine and top vertebrae. Bring it down and relax the whole thing. Let's do that again. So just re-grip your head. Deep breath in. Lift your head and then just let your head relax into your hands. You'll feel your shoulders having to do some work there, and just relax your head and pull. And bring it down and relax. Very good. Okay, right, so some hip movements, because again, lots of tension in hips. What we're going to start with is a butterfly. So if you just literally let your knees flop right out, we'll try and get the best posture on this. So feet together, particularly your toes if you can, and then just try really hard to let your knees, and use gravity to let your knees drop out and just open up your hips. If that is really, really uncomfortable, then I want you to make two fists with your hand and just prop them underneath the side of the top of your leg. So what that does is it relaxes it to a certain point and it can't go any further. But if you're like, no, I don't need to do that, honestly, just let them, look, it's quite a strong inner thigh stretch out but again, there's an awful lot of tension in that area, so just try and relax it out. Now your back may have started to arch. Just make sure that you're tucking your pelvis under, so use your core, just keep it to the floor. Okay, to bring yourself out of this, just take your hands by the side and then very, very slowly, so you don't get a groin pinch, bring yourself back in. Right, one knee comes in and you're going to hold on to it and you're going to bring the other leg up. This is quite a strong move, and then you're going to bring your leg to the side. So your leg straight is coming to the side and then your knee is dropping out the other side. So you're going to counterbalance. Inner thigh, getting quite a large stretch on this. If you want to hold on to it, by all means, just hold on to that other knee, make sure you don't fall. Now, if you've got that and you're like, yeah, it's all right, don't mind it, chances are your leg won't be on the floor. If it is, my goodness. If you think, okay, I just want an additional stretch, just hold on to that toe. And if you're thinking, oh my God, you must be joking, I can't balance, just hold on to your knee. Okay, if you have got your toe, let go. And then bend that knee first before you bring it in. That's it, nice and slowly again to avoid groin strain. So we're swapping sides. So keep hold of the other knee now, bring that nice and close. Other leg up to straight, and then you're going to let it out. If this is far too difficult, bend your knee. Bend at your knee. So again, everything should sort of just use gravity and sink that whole lot down. You may find one side a tad more easy than the other. If you want to, take hold of your foot and then give that additional stretch, it's absolutely fine. Quite a lot stronger. Release your toe if you've got it. Bend your leg, and then you're going to bring your two knees together, nice and slowly. Lovely. Okay. Woof. Right. Inner thigh should be thinking, oh my God, now. Let's try and do a little glute work whilst we're down here. So we're going to bring your heels as close as possible to your glutes that it will go. Now we're going to just tilt that pelvis, and each time you release, I want you to release one more vertebrae. So this is going to take a little while to get up to the top. Absolutely fine. We're just going to do this nice and slowly. So first things first, you're going to tilt and you just off the floor, and then release. Each time making sure that you release properly. Lift, so you think, right, that's two vertebrae. Hold it there, bring it down, release. Up, three vertebrae. So this is theoretical, by the way. You don't have to actually work out the vertebrae. You're just lifting up another inch or so each time, okay? Bring it down and release. Squeeze back up. So you should be roughly just underneath your shoulder blades now. Bring it down. Release. Back up, squeeze. Just onto shoulder blades now. So what you'll find with this is that your legs give up a little bit early, and so by the time you're at the top, your glutes are doing a lot of the work. So let's think, right, just one under the top now. Bring it down. Release, curl, and now we're coming up. So hips nice and high to the ceiling. That's it, and really have a good old squeeze of those glutes. Now, at the moment, your legs may be feeling this more. Your back is active. Try really hard to go, no, glutes, it is your turn now. So give them a good squeeze. Hold it here. Roll it down. Now what we're going to do is come down slowly. So we're going to come all the way up to the top, lift and squeeze. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze. And then down. Again, there's no hurry. Don't think, oh God, I've got to do this all. So just one under now and down. Glutes should be really quite active now. Should be thinking, oh God, definitely my turn. Right, so you're sort of near the bottom of your shoulder blade now. And release. One down. I think it's harder to come down, to be honest. Get this right. Release. Lift. Now this last one should be just off the floor. And down. Lovely. Release your feet from the floor and just bring your knees in and just give yourself a little jig. Wonderful. Okay, so glutes should be thinking, right, we're fully switched on now. They shouldn't be hurting, but it should be very much switched on. Okay. Let's bring our feet back down. Right, now, band is optional. Okay, so if you do happen to have a band with you, amazing. If you don't worry. We're going to put the band on. Okay, just above your knees. And when you get that glute medius active now. So again, put your feet fairly close to your glutes, and we're just going to lift halfway. So you're just sort of at the bottom of your shoulder blades, and now we're going to lift and squeeze those knees right out. So depending on what band you've got on, Steve, I'd go for a relatively tough one because your glutes are used to this. So hold it out here, and now the medius, which is the muscles right around here, they should be kicking in now. Going, oh God. Right, whilst it's out, then you're going to lift. So if you're about 50%, we're going to lift up to 100. That shouldn't be easy with your knees out. Ah. And you're going to come knees out, back down to 50. Hold it there. Back up to 100. Squeeze. Everything should be really woken up now. And back down to 50. And roll it down and bring your knees in. Ah. Oh. Oh, based on what I did this morning, that's not fun. Right. Okay, so let's repeat that. Do that again. We're going to add a little pulse in now. Let's do a quick time check. Okay. Right, roll it up halfway. Bring it out. Hold it there. Lift up. Hold it out. Okay, we're pulsing and outwards. 10, 9, oh my God, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out. Bring it down to 50 and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Make sure your feet don't roll out. 2, 1. Let's go up again. Oh my God. Out. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down to 50. Oh my God. Out. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll down. Oh, if that didn't cramp, that's going to be a miracle. Oh. Right, put one knee over the other. Bring your both knees towards you. Just give it a second, okay? Because if that did cramp, that's going to be very, very painful. Just bring your knees in and relax. Oh my God. If you had anything more than a red on there, well done. That was hard. Okay, swap sides. Crossing your legs the other way, bring your knees towards you and just hold onto those knees and relax. Relax your glutes out. Oh. Very, very, very good. Okay, right, with your band, you're going to slip yourself out of that and then put it onto your feet. So we're holding it like little stirrups, and then I want you to bring that in. Just feel that right down the back of your legs. Get a really good stretch. This is if you've got a band. If you haven't, you can do exactly the same thing without a band. Just bring your legs up and that'll stretch the back of your legs quite well. Good. Okay, release. If you want to, you're going to bring yourself up using the band. It's up to you. Okay. Right, so bring yourself up, lose the band. We're going to spin over onto all fours. Before we get up, we're just going to do a nice little cat stretch.
Just really stretch out that back.
Bring it through, lift your head into a cow. And again, up, all the way through. Really nice big arch. Through. Up to center. Tuck your toes under. Come back onto your toes. And then we're going to lift up. Hold it here. Drop, relax your head. And then rolling it up super slowly. Head last. Deep breath in. Sorry you can't see. Arms up. And relax down. Wonderful. Just give me a second. Okay, right. So finishing with our little sweeps. Hope everyone's up and about okay. Right. Okay, so hip width apart. Off we go. Bringing it down. All the way up. Up onto your toes if you can. Pick a spot that's not moving. Good. And down. Big stretch up. Deep breath in. And one more. Deep breath in and lift. Excellent. Well done, everyone. Absolutely brilliant. That was a tough old combo. Let me just